page you're telling. Jumpstart your writing, get over the hump. Jump into fiction with Shirley. Jumpstart your writing, get over the hump. Jump into fiction with Shirley.
Hi guys, and welcome to the live stream. I'm so happy that you're here. I saw a bunch of people join before I even started, which is always awesome. And I've been looking forward to it all day because I can't wait to work on the book. I hope that if you're watching it on the replay, you remembered, or if you're watching on the replay and you have a question, please feel free to drop it in the comments because I can still see those even when the replay goes. I see the comments and I can answer them. I'm always happy to know where you're from and what you're writing. I see Malcolm and Wendy and Soy and Gayla here. Good to see you guys from both Facebook and YouTube, whoever's here from whichever platform. I'm super happy you're here. And we are doing our 10-minute sprints. We'll do an hour today. Yes, Brenda, I have a theme song. I have somebody that wrote me, oh, have a mo, so good to see you. It's been a while. I have somebody that wrote a jingle for me, and it's kind of, my son thinks it's dorky, but I think it's hilarious. So it's kind of cool. So I put it on my thing, and it's also on my the end of some of my videos if I have enough time to add that too. So happy to see you guys here. How this works is we do 10 minutes of writing and then we answer any questions that you have on writing or discuss your works or whatever you want to do in between. I thought I could do something kind of cool and different this time. Let me see if I can actually do it because I'm not sure yet. I have to go and look for this thing. So I was thinking that I would throw up a slide for you guys, and now I've completely forgotten what I called it. So I might not be able to find it because I forgot what I called it. I saved the file and now I don't remember what I did with it. So I was thinking that I would throw up a kind of like a little writing prompt that you guys could do. And I made a little slide today and everything, and now I cannot remember what it's called or where it's at. But anyways, that would be kind of cool for us to do if you guys wanted to, because that way you could have something else to work on if you wanted to. And I'm not seeing it come up for my files. Oh, there it is, because I didn't choose all files. So it would be something different to work on if you wanted to. You don't have to. And I apologize for still looking for this thing. As we all know, anybody who's done this before knows that my technology is not always my friend. Thank you, Hapamo. I also did a little Christmas tree. I don't have what do you call it? A star yet. So I've got a little unicorn there instead. And now it just told me invalid file type, even though it's not. So anyways, I'm happy to see Cheryl here and everybody else that is here. You guys are just awesome. I'm super thrilled to see you. And if I can get the writing prompt to work during our first 10-minute thing, then I will do that because I don't know why it doesn't like me. I tried it earlier today and it worked. Thank you. The tree's going to get lights once we take our Christmas decorations down from the attic. And I might have a star, but even if I don't, I might leave the unicorn because the unicorn stars in a lot of my videos. So I'm going to, leave him there maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So I'm stoked just to decorate my office and put up the Christmas decorations. So if you want to drop down what you're working on today, that'd be great. We can all work together. I am still working on the same book, but I did rewrite the prologue as I've been hemming and hawing about what I wanted to do. And I finally figured out what I wanted to do with it and I rewrote it. And so I'm going to be working on that and some scene transitions to other scenes that are already existing in the book. I've barely made it through my revisions. I think I'm only on page like 10. Yeah, page 8 of the revisions that I had worked on when I was traveling. So a lot of that is kind of just fleshing out everything that's there. And as I showed you guys last week, I did a lot of notes to myself, and I haven't even read all of the pages yet. I've just kind of figured out where I want to go, and I'm all excited on that. Gayla is rewriting her pages from last month. That's awesome. We had talked about those in the mastermind, so that was really great. I wanted to tell you guys something funny today. So in a networking meeting that I was at, somebody said that they saw one of my books on TV as in a pile of banned books for a school library. So if any of you have read my books, you know that they're not exactly sexy. And I think I've used 5 curse words in total in all 85 books. I just don't do that in my books. So it was kind of flattering in a weird way to be a banned book. So it's kind of a cool thing. I don't know which book it was. I'm not sure which school system it was. I did try Googling, but apparently I didn't get any results back because I didn't have enough information. But yeah, I'm now among the banned book elite there. So let's get started on our first 10-minute sprint, and I am going to look for that slide so that we can have that writing prompt in between. I think I have to save it a different way, but anyways, I'm excited for you guys to work on some stuff, and half a Mo's on chapter 5, and yay, end of the first quarter of the book. Ricardo, and welcome to the live stream on chapter 29 of a fantasy web serial. That's awesome. First time trying to write something more than a report. That's really good. And I know that sometimes the pressure on that can be big, but don't do that. That's the beauty of these sprints. You just write without thinking, right? If I can figure out which book it was, maybe it would help my sales. And Silver Ali, third children's book with mermaids. Oh, I love mermaids. I had a client once that did some mermaid books. It was really cool. And Wendy is working on what she had last week. So that's awesome. All right, let's get you guys working. So we'll do a 10-minute sprint, and then I'll come back, and if you have a question while we're working, just go ahead and drop it in the chat, and we'll go from there. there we go. That is the first writing sprint gone. I did like a couple hundred words, so I was pretty excited about that. But then I'm not sure if I have any more to write in that scene. I might have to move on to another scene. But anyways, more information than you need. So I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not, but I put up this little writing prompt rewrite challenge. It might be hard to see on your screen. I'm not sure how that works. I can actually put myself a little bit smaller if it's too hard to see. That is, I came across today the first few pages of a chapter of one of my books that never sold. And I was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I put that up there and it's not especially well done, and give it to you guys as something to rewrite better or take to the next level or something like that. I kind of do like the hook that I have there. I can read the chapter and tell you that I did not do a good job with that hook at all. I kind of just forgot that line. I threw it in there and then never really addressed what that was. And thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for the compliment. And Wendy, great job on 106 words. If anybody else has anything that they want to talk about with their writing or questions that they have, please let me know. I did want to tell you guys that the third video dropped today on the internal conflict. So I'll grab that link and throw it in the chat so that you guys have it. Oh, good job, Malcolm, with the 122 words. This is the video about internal conflict, which is what basically keeps your character from growing and changing and becoming emotionally whole and dealing with all of their insecurities and doubts and anxieties. And we all have those, because nobody likes to change, as I say in the videos a couple of times, unless they're in therapy. Like, we don't normally want to sit around and do changing. Great job, Ricardo and Silver Ali. Great job on the 104 words. That's awesome. I'm so thrilled. And Ricardo, after not writing for a while, that's awesome to come back and do that. So if you guys want to have fun with that, go right ahead. If you don't, that's okay. I don't care. I just thought it would be kind of hilarious to do. And I have all these notes that I made on this book about the chapters and the things that could happen. I actually never finished this book because it didn't sell. Thank you, Half a Mo. I appreciate that you guys appreciate the examples. My son was doing a little bit of editing for me. I do all my own editing, but he does some of like the cutting it down because I record way too much and then he cuts it down for me and then I do the rest. And he says that, it's dorky to choose those movies, but they're movies everybody knows and I've watched them a bazillion times. So when I do that, I think it really helps people understand the concepts. Great job, Malcolm, on the words. I'm glad you wrote the first thing you thought of. And Cheryl is working on Louisa and Sissy at the hotel now, and it's going well. That's awesome. And Half a Mo got 129 words. Look at you all. Y'all are just rocking it. Maybe because the pressure of NaNoWriMo's off now that it's December. The other thing I was going to mention is that I am going to offer some kind of a class as a live stream. I've got a poll up if you guys want to take it. Let me see if I can get the link. No, I don't. I think the link is just on the community page. You just have to scroll down a little bit. But I'd like to see what you guys want. Somebody mentioned they would like revision in the comments there. But whether you guys want a live class that I can do on characters or plotting or something else, just let me know and I'll put something together and I'll do that on YouTube. So I think it would be really fun. And Ricardo, thank you for the binging and cringing. I think that that's sometimes, I'm picking movies that people aren't necessarily loving, but that's okay. Half a Mo, any reason it's easy to get stuck at turning points, especially the move from the first act. So to me, when you're stuck in your book, it is a plot problem, but not necessarily an external plot problem. It is an internal plot problem because so many of us have so much trouble with writing that emotion. I did too when I first started writing. If you guys pause the video and read the beginning of that terrible first book that I had, it's about a lady with like 3 cats and I described the cats for many pages. Obviously was not doing any internal work there for that character. So you really got to know how this turning point pushes the character into a place that makes them uncomfortable or a way that makes them step outside their comfort zone and starts confronting the demons that they don't want to confront. So for like Shrek, when he goes to Duloc, that's a turning point because now he's got to decide, is it worth it to go to the dragon and get the princess to get his swamp back and stay with Donkey, right? Like have company, or go back and live with those fairy tale creatures. And then when the princess wants to kiss him, that's also a turning point. He has a choice between taking his helmet off and showing her what he really is or leaving it on. And for him, and yes, I'm using the same movie that I've used in all my videos, but for him, taking that helmet off is a huge moment of vulnerability where he can be judged and she can be like, oh, it's an ogre, like everybody else does. So for him, that was huge, huge growth to do that and to expose his inner fears essentially to her. So when you do that, that really kind of makes the character more real to the people that are reading the book, and it makes them more relatable. So I would study the books and movies that you read and watch and look at what the turning point is and what happens to the character emotionally and how they are forced to confront something they don't want to confront. Especially if they have something in their past that you just want to kind of bring to the future. It's awesome. Cheryl voted for revisions. Gayla said show not tell, and I do want to do a class on show not tell. I think I've got to prepare a longer PowerPoint for that because that's a little bit more work than some of the others. A live class would be great for idea creation and characters. Yes, I agree. It would be great to do some ideas and characters. Tell my son I love the show movie choices. Right? Like I use Shrek in everything because everybody's seen it pretty much. And The Mandalorian and Last of Us. I love those. I really, really love The Mandalorian and Grogu, as Wendy told me. But he's still Baby Yoda to me because he's adorable. Anyways, let's do another 10 minutes. And if you have a question, drop it in the comments. And I will see you guys in 10 minutes. There we go. So thanks for writing with me. My brain is still halfway back on the pages there. So Malcolm mentioned a class in episodic fiction. So I'm not a big fan of episodic fiction unless it has a overarching emotional arc, which I think I mentioned in the circle community or on a YouTube comment. I forget where you had mentioned that. So I love when things have series and they're connected. I really love that because a lot of times when I love characters or a town or something like that, I don't want to leave it. I want to keep coming back to it. But I like to see an overarching emotional growth arc for some kind of main character. So like in my, well, can't pull them out because, they're stacked here. But in my 3-book series that I just did, I have 3 sisters, and each of them is the main character of their individual book. But then I have the grandmother has an overarching arc throughout all 3 books. And so that kind of ties them all together so it doesn't feel to the reader that reads all 3 of them like they're just by themselves. It feels like they kind of go together. And the main characters too have slightly a little bit of growth arcs in the subsequent books. They're not the stars of the books, so they don't have huge growth, but it just sort of has that thread that binds it all together. Great job, you guys, on 95 words for Silver Alley and 205 words for Half a Mo. It is so fun to do it together, isn't it? I really like it. I was looking forward to it all day. I was kind of fiddling around with my book in between work things. And don't tell the clients. And I couldn't wait to get to it because now that I've sort of figured out what I want to do, I'm excited to work on it. And I'm kind of glad that it's the holiday season because even though it's really busy on a personal level, because, you're buying presents and you're putting up the tree and making cookies and all that stuff, for work-wise, it kind of slows down because a lot of my clients travel or take time off. So that gives me more time to work on my own stuff. Great job, Malcolm, on 281 words. I think that's fantastic. Did anybody try the writing prompt rewrite thing? If not, it's no big deal. I just thought, let's make it a little bit different this time and see how you guys can do that better than what I did there. I can tell you that I would not have used some of the words that are there. So as if they'd been weighed down, they used to when he ran track in high school. His eyes felt, like a lot of things like that I probably wouldn't have used. But I did like the which presented a problem line. I really did like that one. I love those little one hook lines. Anybody who reads stuff that by me knows that I do that a lot. Wendy said she's doing deep edits, so she was thinking a lot, and that's my favorite thing. That's what I've been doing off and on today quite a bit. And I would probably do that here, but then I think that would be weird. I'm just sitting here reading my pages and marking them up as opposed to working on them. But if you guys like the idea of something to start as a prompt, it doesn't have to be this just happened to be what I came across, then let me know and I'll use that next week so that we have some kind of like starting point, maybe some kind of food for thought for like what would your character do in this situation. I love those kinds of prompts and I use them a lot of times in my classes to get people to see how their characters would process a situation differently. Or what their characters would do in a particular situation, or a little bit of backstory about their characters. So that's really fun. And I know you guys know because I've told you before that I'm working on these character backstories for a video game. And that's been really fun. It's kind of like, here's the character in the video game. He's a little bit evil and he works with mechanical machines, and then I've just got to figure out why and how and all of that, and it's been kind of a blast, and I can't wait till the video game comes out sometime next year and I get to see the characters like on the screen. Not that I know how to play video games or ever play them, but I can at least give it to my husband and have my husband play it because he's way better than me. So let's do another sprint because I'm anxious to get to this book, and I'm sure you guys are too. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in 10 minutes. There we go. I got like 300 words that time because I was working on something that was really fun to write. So I'm excited by that. But now I'm kind of at that point where I got to think about what I'm going to do next, because I filled in the blanks that I had planned for this morning. And I went a little bit further than I expected to. I figured I had more to do for another sprint. And Cece, that's so totally okay. I love that you're going to do it over the weekend. I think that's great. And I love it when I see how many people watch the replays, because that means they're getting the writing done. And I think just having that little incentive to do those 10-minute sprints, I know that for sure they help me and get me motivated to work on the book when a lot of times I'm not, because I work full time with the company that I own. And so finding the time to do fiction is always kind of a challenge. But oh, yay, that's great, Malcolm, to use the prompt to write a little character moment for a main character. That's awesome. And Ricardo got another 107 words and 146 for Silver Ollie. You guys are doing great. I hope Cece gets a ton of words over the weekend. I love that everybody's doing that and they're using this to get their words and moving forward in your book, which is awesome. And yes, I agree, Brenda. It's totally motivating for me too. It gets me like, oh, I can do this. And 10 minutes is totally doable for me. Anybody who knows me and watches the channel knows that I talk really fast and move really fast. My husband's always saying, you're moving too fast. You got to slow down because I'm knocking things over or whatever. And he's a very methodical, he's an engineer. So he's very methodical, quiet, calm kind of person, which total opposite to me. And so the 10 minutes works perfectly for me because when I'm moving fast, that allows me to do that. And yay, Wendy's got another 67 words and half a mo is 161. That's awesome, guys. You guys rock. And half a mo, I will warn you that some of those replays, I have forgotten to turn on the sound. It's not a big surprise to everybody that watches that I have done that because, oh my gosh, sometimes I'm just not, I'm a little blonde. That's all I can say. And Gayla is excited about work, looking forward to this all week. I do too. And Malcolm, Cleo is an alien woman in the prompt. That's awesome. And Wendy, yes, I can relate. And for reals, in this particular book, which is a romantic comedy that I never published, Cleo is his ex-wife and their kids glued them together with super glue. So that was what the original plot was. So that's hilarious that she's an alien. And Cece, how to pick the best job for your characters when you don't know much about the specific profession. Well, I mean, I usually pick something that I know something about, or that I can at least research well enough on Google. But I do always come back to that character development piece. And I haven't done it yet for you guys on the channel, but I have this thing called the brain map. It's a little bit more involved than what I've been doing on the channel, but eventually I will do it. Where I really look at this character's background. And throughout it, I'm always asking why and what was the impact. Like, why did they grow up in a small town? What was the impact? Why did they go to a big school? What was the impact? Why did they hate reading but love math? What was the impact? And so when I get those answers to the why and what was the impact of their childhood, a lot of times that naturally tells me what their career is going to be. So if your character hated reading but loves math, then maybe they're an engineer, or maybe they're a math teacher or something like that, or a scientist. And so I look at what would be the natural career progression for a character that has done this. Or maybe if they grew up really poor on a farm and they didn't have that many opportunities to get a higher education, maybe they've gone into that same field, or maybe they've kind of twisted it by, doing a craft kind of company or something. So I usually just use that character's past because our personalities and our experiences and our histories kind of shape what we choose for a career, at least in my opinion. And so I use that to kind of figure out what the character would be doing for a job. So hopefully that helps. And Gayla too, yeah, everything's doing everything fast. It's totally me. Yeah, it's why things get spilled all the time in my house. All right, we have time for one more. If I could stop talking, and we can do it. And I am so glad, Half a Mo, that you loved that class and got the answer to the character development. And I agree. Why and what was the impact is the best questions you can ask for a character. So if I do a character live class, I will definitely cover that quite a bit. Maybe not the brain map, because like I said, it's a very involved half-day course, but maybe doing that on a smaller basis in a character development class. So be sure to fill out the poll if you haven't already. That link is back in the chat, and I can throw it in again at the end. So let's scoot in one more 10 minutes, because it's 10 minutes to 5. One more 10 minutes for you guys, and we'll go from there. There we go. That's our last 10 minutes. That was really fun, though. I got a whole bunch of things done, and I'm pretty excited about that. I think we fit in 4 or 5 of those, so that was really good. We did great. I didn't talk too much. I hope you all had a great writing day, and I encourage you to check out the video on internal conflict. And in case you didn't already grab it, there is a download on the Circle community, which I can also bring a link up for that. And that's in the resources section. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the resources section for you guys. Half a mo, 633 words. That is awesome. So glad you came and happy to see you again. And Silver Ollie, great, another 122 words. I didn't count what I got for my words, but it wasn't that long because I was kind of going back and editing some other stuff while I was working on it. But you guys are doing fantastic. Ricardo, another 89. Like, I wish I had like actual cake slices I could hand out or champagne or something. You guys are doing fantastic. I'm very thrilled. And I'm so glad, Malcolm, that gave you a story idea. That's really, really cool. That was the design of the prompt. So maybe I'll do that again next week. I'll come up with something else that's maybe a character question. And 622 words. That's really, really good. I mean, that's like 3 pages. So you guys are just killing it. I'm very thrilled with all of it. And I'm so happy that you joined me. And I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you next week. Don't forget to fill out the poll, watch the video, and let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.